Because there's a lot that goes into working with your family. So the first year at home, first of all, I had to live with my parents. So I'm living and working with my parents, as well as, we're starting a new business and I'm trying to transition out of college. A lot of times we talk about there's a lot of talk about transitioning into college, but no one talks about the transition out of college. You go from seeing your friends every day, having a good time, to the next day you're trying to figure it out. So I lived with my parents while I'm trying to manage all this stuff because, rural Nebraska is kind of hard to find a place to live. Also, starting a new business with no previous experience is a wild experience. And then starting a business with a lot of equipment, working with a contract company, and a new animal. Um, yeah, mix that all together, and you've got one heck of a mess when it comes to emotional stability. So we're fighting things, just learning the daily routine. Our whole life has shifted in terms of routines and just mindset. And slowly it just gets better after time. I think it really took me 2 years, year and a half, maybe almost 2 years to really feel like I've got this figured out. Because not only am I figuring out life in the chicken barns, but I'm figuring out life on the farm.
What is your plan? How has that conversation gone with your family? Because to me, it sounds like it was a very both honest and frank conversation you had with the family. Am I characterizing your situation accurately?
Early on, I understood that my dad was doing things for us, not just for him, just like his
Mhm.
father did. And I'm in that spot too, where am I building something that can sustain itself? So I encourage people, when I hear people talk about they want their kids to come back home, those decisions, those actions start way, way, way long before the actual action of that daughter or son stepping back on the farm.
I do enjoy the social media aspect of people who have documented their farms. Because let's face it, it's a great canvas to work with when the sky is the great color, or there's steam coming out of the feed wagon as it's heading down through the lot. I mean, there's some incredible images, and to make it your family that's in them, that has to be special too.
Yeah, and I learned it's hard. I mean, it's hard to take photos when you're working. Yesterday, my brother and I brought the cows home from corn stalks, and it'd be so cool to have image of us walking, work chasing the cows in. I can bring out my phone. I take Instagram stories every once in a while, and then post them later. I take some photos, but that's hard. That my attention is getting taken away from what's in front of me, cows, to my phone of trying to snap that photo. And so I know what it's like when you're working, you can't take those photos. So my dream is for families to welcome me onto their farm, and they're just going about their normal business and I'm taking photos of them.
You're just a fly on the wall, or
Correct.
you're just kind of hanging out, and you capture them.
And
Did
because
any
I
of that?
come from oh,
Go ahead.
because I come from a farm, I know things don't always go as planned, and sometimes there's big emotions or big tensions. And so I like to think that I have a handle on, or know how to handle things like those, and know that, if something happens or something breaks down and big emotions come up, like that doesn't bother me because it happens to us all the time too.
And it happens to everybody.
Mhm.
You have to remind that farmer that you're not the only one that had a breakdown. You're not the only one where something didn't go right. In fact, if nothing went wrong, then
Yeah,
you're
you're
really the
looking
who are you? How is that possible? This isn't Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to, it sounds silly, but I try to glamorize our work. Um there's there's a splendid isolation to what we do. We're on the farm every day, working, big emotions sometimes, big decisions to make, but even in the small moments, like sometimes those moments aren't fun. So I kind of glamorize what we do in my own eyes, and like, what's the best way to take this photo? How can I tell the story? Um, because washing water tanks is not fun, but it's kind of fun to be washing water tanks with all the cows looking at you behind you. So it's like that would make a great photo. So I just glamorize my everyday life as best as I can and picture it in my head And I want to do the same for others, but with a camera in my hand.
Mhm. We talk about the 4 years before and since you've graduated. What are the next 4 years in line for you?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm really content with where I'm at. I'm really happy to be home. I really like being involved in my community. I really like telling people stories through photography. So I have a feeling that the next 4 years are going to have some sort of mixture of the farm, the family, photography, and so much other
Mhm.
goodness that I have no idea what's in store.
The full MTOM discussion with Hannah Borg is available now on our YouTube channel of @Market to Market.